It's no secret, all right, I am a severely afflicted metalhead.
No.
One of these things that metalheads do when they wake up, first thing in the morning, there's a video by Too Sick. If you can go watch it, it's hilarious. A day in the life of a metalhead. She gets up and there's a narrator. It says, the metalhead has woken up from a slumber. She will now sit on the edge of her sleeping vessel and contemplate existence. And I'm like, accurate. I feel attacked. Because I have thought about that. Like, when you're leaving the planet, you're moving at roughly like 3.5 to 5 Gs,
Yeah.
which is immense pressure on the human body due to gravity and
Yes.
speed. Obviously, a major contributor to that. But something that's even weirder about that is the second you leave the atmosphere, you're now floating because there's no gravity. And in a sense, you have officially slowed down
Pretty much.
at 5 Gs. Now you're barely moving at all now that you're outside of the planet or outside of the atmosphere.
Because they said, the thing with Ton 618 is that it also has the brightness of 1 trillion stars. Like, so essentially, take the sun, multiply it by 1 trillion. That's how bright it is. So pretty much, if the planet lies closer to the event horizon. So the event horizon is the point on the black hole where too close, you get sucked in. It's like the Goldilocks zone essentially.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like the black hole equivalent of a Goldilocks zone.
Yes. Pretty much, too close, you get sucked in. Far enough out, yeah, you'd essentially be sustained, but time would move insanely slow.
Yeah.
Everything outside of you would be moving at, like I said, if you talk about, Interstellar, the planet that was closest to, so the black hole in the movie Interstellar is called Gargantua. Mm-hmm. That planet that was closest to it, that water planet, since it's, so close to it, like I said, 1 second there is 1 day on Earth.
Severe time dilation.
Severe time dilation. So essentially, as you're falling into this black hole, time around you slows down.
I'm trying to think now. Did that planet have a sun?
Probably not, because they said Gargantua was emitting so much light.
That's true. Because I do remember that it is very well lit.
Yes.
The planet that they're on is bright.
Because for the longest time, the prevailing theory was that black holes were that's all they were. They're just essentially just big, empty holes in the universe. But the more we understood more about them, and the fact that we started getting more images of them from thanks to the James Webb Telescope and the Hubble Telescope as well, like you were saying, how they did artist renditions of it. Mm-hmm. Essentially, black holes are so dense that light can't escape from it. Essentially, it's so dense that as it's moving, the light around it gets bent. Mm-hmm. That's why it pretty much looks like a black sphere with like a white ring around it, which I believe is called the accumulation disk.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's the equivalent of like Saturn's rings to it. Which, to kind of go back, yes, it's estimated between 100 million years old, Saturn's rings. I had to backtrack for a second. But yeah, my internet here is so slow that it took about maybe, 2 minutes for it to finally load. But for most part, yes. Yeah, but I said black holes, they're so crazy to think about.
That's true.
And what's also crazy to think about is just, when you essentially look at the constellations in our night sky. Yes, these are the same constellations that, people who base horoscopes on how much of an asshole they are. What do you expect? I'm a Sagittarius. No, sorry. You're a fucking asshole. The stars alignment does not determine how much of an asshole you are. You were just an asshole. You were born an asshole. And unless you make some changes, you will die one.
I'm just throwing this out there. It's a red flag for me. I'm sorry. It's a red flag for me. Astrology, it's a red flag.
What'd you expect? I'm a Capricorn.
Because I do hear a lot of, oh, you're a Leo. That makes a lot of sense. My birthday is August 7th. And let me tell you, I've caught a lot of shit for that. And I haven't even done anything.
But to kind of further explain why, astrology is bullshit. Another thing is to take into consideration. So when you look at the night sky,
no, we're becoming scientific Master Ken.
Everyone right now is probably like listening, is going fucking nerds.
We're about to go full of Meridote
Yeah.
on astrology.
So essentially, when you look at the night sky, you were looking at the stars from a two-dimensional plane.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what you can see in the night sky. But you have to understand. So let's just say you take the constellation Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand. Yeah, it's composed of I think it's what, 4 stars. I think.
4 stars. There's more to it than that, but there are 4 major stars.
Yes, the 4 major stars that we can see at least in the night sky.
Naked eye, yeah.
With the naked eye. You have to understand, these stars are 1,000 light years apart. Not from side to side. Mm-hmm. The one from the left is closest to us. The one behind it, I'm sorry, the one next to it is actually behind it. The one next to that is behind that one. Mm-hmm. So they are stretched out, essentially on the Z plane, not the X and Y, but the Z plane, the 3-dimensional. Right.
Which is crazy in and of itself because we are 3-dimensional creatures existing on, to our understanding, a 4-dimensional plane with 2-dimensional senses.
Yes.
Which is in itself, I'm going to repeat that. We are a 3-dimensional creature on what we understand as a 4-dimensional plane with 2-dimensional senses.
Essentially, pretty much, like I said, when you look at the night sky, you see the stars from a 2-dimensional plane.
Yes.
You just see them as, this star is to my far left, and just below that, I said below that, up and down. Mm-hmm. Is that sort? We have to understand that these stars are thousands of light years apart. Another thing to kind of blow your mind, let's just, for instance, we'll take the sun. We shrink it down to the size of a period. Mm-hmm. And your textbook that you read in school. The nearest star would be 4 miles away. That is how far apart these stars are from each other. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's just the nearest star.
Just trying to comprehend the vastness of space is literally impossible for the human brain. It's literally impossible.
Like I said, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson famously said, the universe is not obligated to have us understand it. And I think that's such a fantastic quote.
It's weirdly poetic.
It is weirdly poetic because I said, because naturally when we don't understand something, we approach it with skepticism and if anything, hostility towards it. In fact, if we are ever visited by alien life, as part of our protocol, we have to approach it with hostility. Yeah. We have to approach it with the idea that this thing is here to wipe us out. But oddly enough, when you look at a lot of these sci-fi films, Independence Day, or the Invasion of the Body Snatcher, this idea that aliens are coming here, there's this idea to believe that actually what these aliens are doing to us is a reflection of what we would do to them.
That's true. It is in itself indicative of what you could refer to as just human nature.
Yeah.
It's actually one of the things that goes into my theory of if you do visit another Earth-like planet, you would come in contact with things much like what we would have on this planet. Because in that, you're looking for a planet that's Earth-like. It makes sense you would find Earth-like beings. So humans, cows, chickens.
Well, it said you would think, but you have to also take consideration. Some of these Earth-like planets are bigger than Earth.
That is true.
So you're kind of going to look at there is a cow. The cow is probably going to be maybe 4 stories tall.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, something to accommodate its massive bulk, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Also, not saying that's impossible. Like I said, there has to be life out there. You can't tell me there isn't life out there.
Well, I mean, even on super Earths.
Yeah.
Which in turn, that's where you would come across creatures that are insanely big, because super Earths are Earth-like planets where the mass is so incredibly high. It's hundreds of thousands of atmospheres heavier.
Yes.